Welcome to the first edition of the Tiger Time News for the 2019-2020 school year. I'm Emma Watkins.
And I'm Red Carly Hammonds. Let's get started.
We opened this school year with more change. For the second year in a row, we have started with a new principal after Miss Kamisha Emerson resigned and moved to Texas. Replacing her is Miss Mary Ann Polk, who has served as an assistant principal at the high school, but most recently as the principal at Bolivar Middle. We sat down with Miss Polk to talk about her transition back to the high school. Miss Polk, how are things different from being the principal at the middle school and being the principal at the high school?
So some of the differences, of course, age-wise, we know this, but just that mentality, the youthfulness or the lack thereof of maturity. I'm grateful to see those students who were once upon a time at the middle school to see that maturation process and that they've grown up a little more over the summer. So that's a big thing as far as age-wise. And then the academics, it's great to see the new opportunities that the students have here. They have more opportunities than they did at the middle school. So I see a lot of them more interested in taking focused paths and what have you. So that excites me, yeah.
What led you to be the principal at the high school?
So I was at Bolivar Middle School for nine years, and those were wonderful years. So with the shift, I know it's kind of different here. Within the past 3 years, we've had 3 principals, and we're just trying to assure everyone that that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. You know, your previous principal's husband got relocated, so and looking for a new replacement, our director of schools just looked among the principals here, and he sort of told me kind of that you are the one to go over and try to make a difference. And so we said yes, and we're happy. We're happy.
What are your plans this year and what do you plan on achieving?
So we got data looking at last year's scores, and Central High School has moved from a level 1 to a level 3. Whoop, whoop. So we are truly excited about the good news, and we're wanting to sustain and even become a level 5 school. So our dream team, that's the new administration here, that's the name that I call ourselves. We're looking more into the data and just trying to strategize and finding those students who are doing well and making sure that you're continuing with some rigorous training, teaching, that sort of thing, and more so finding those kids who are right at the cusp of becoming proficient and giving them some additional attention to make sure that they're successful in their academics. Yes.
And how would you describe yourself as a leader?
Me? Talk about myself? Whoa! I love my job. I love getting up every morning. I love all kids. I just feel like this is my element. Personality, I believe, and just, you know, building relationships. I think that's a key component in any organization. So just having that personal touch and just the commitment to serving all the kids. I'm about all of the kids, yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, Ms. Polk.
Thank you.
In addition to the new administration, BCHS has several new teachers and staff members. The Tiger Time News team spoke to these teachers about their excitement for the new school year and their new jobs.
Today we're here with Coach Scott Blair. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Scott. Where are you from?
I've been coaching for about a little over 20-something years. My last 5 years, I was at Fayette Ware for 4 years. I was a head football coach and offensive coordinator out there. And last year, I was at Halls High School as their head coach. And now I'm here at Bolivar.
What brought you to Bolivar? You have any connection with Coach Kraft?
I do. Coach Kraft, I taught Coach Kraft when he was in ninth grade. And I coached him for 4 years in high school football.
What's your coaching position here at Bolivar Central?
I am offensive coordinator and quarterbacks and running backs coach.
And what class do you teach here?
I teach wellness and PE.
All right. Thank you for your time, Coach.
No problem.
Mr. Davis, you are no stranger to the school, but you are a stranger to the classroom. How are things different teaching English through this year besides just being a teacher assistant?
Well, last year as a teacher's assistant, I had the freedom to move around the school more freely, and it allowed me to interact with the students on a more emotional level. But as a teacher, I'm more confined to this room, so the things that I do are limited. But it does give me an awesome opportunity to interact with them on a more intellectual level.
What gave you the passion to teach?
Well, I've always had the passion to help people, and I found that this was a great avenue for that. I found that I had the ability to connect with the students in a way that most teachers don't, and I just used that to kind of fuel my passion and to get me to where I want to be here in the classroom.
Thank you.
No problem.
Miss Ewer, you started teaching at Bolivar Central in the middle of last year. Is there anything you want the students to know about you in the class you teach?
My biggest responsibility is to make sure that you're ready to read and write in your real life, especially teaching seniors. So I hope that I'm able to inspire that in my students, because no matter where you go in life, whether you're a soldier, cop, mechanic, stay-at-home mom, you need to write that grocery list. That's my whole job, is to inspire you guys to be better readers and writers and contributing members of society.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Harris, how does it feel to be back at Bolivar Central?
Great. Glad to be back. I've been gone since 2000. I think I left in 2007, that school year.
What is the job of an interventionist?
The job of an interventionist is to help students to get up to part where they supposed to be in their grade level. And if they are falling short in any subject, it helps to bring them up to par.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Mr. Jeter, you aren't employed by Hardeman County Schools, but employed by TCAT. What makes your position unique compared to Mr. Gibson or Coach Fulgham?
Well, the kids in my class, they're learning welding and advanced manufacturing that they earn hours and can take on to TCAT and finish their courses a little sooner.
What are the big changes that you've seen since you've started?
Well, it's a bigger school, more students, and you know, the biggest change is that I'm in office by myself. At the middle school, I was center, the only one in the front office. So that's the biggest change, that I'm off to myself. And more students, more teachers, and all that good stuff.
Have you made any new bonds with the students here?
Oh yes, the ones that were at the middle school, you know, they act like they was excited, surprised to see me, Miss Lake, and they always said, "You came with Miss Polk, huh?" But you know, it was an opportunity, and I thought I should. Change is okay, so I thought I would take the chance.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, Ms. Markham, you're the new BCHS attendance secretary. What are some things we are doing to help attendance at BCHS?
Well, we had a freshman orientation before school started, and all the new freshmen came with their parents, and we just talked to them about, you know, what our attendance policies are and trying to get them in the habit of being here and knowing what they need to do to keep if they are excused, or if they have any absences, that they're excused, and just letting parents know how to keep their kids in school and work with us on that.
It's your first year at BCHS. What are your feelings towards the BCHS students' respect?
I absolutely adore all these children. I mean, they are so respectful, and even when they're having a rough day or a rough time, they are just so respectful, and they just really look up to the teachers and staff to support them. So as long as it's mutual, I think we can work with it and keep it going.
What are some things you're looking forward to this year?
Getting to know the kids. I only know a handful of them, and I've known them personally, so I'm getting to know some students in here for discipline reasons, or some of the hall runners, and I'm getting to know each of them on different personal levels and academic levels, so it's really great.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Ms. Perry, since you don't have a background in education, what brought you to the teaching world?
I actually, I've never officially taught before, but I've been subbing for about 30 years. And I teach at my church Sunday school, Bible study, so I've been doing that for a long time. But I initially, when I went to school to get my degrees, I wanted to teach on the collegiate level to be a adjunct professor. But after I went to school and to find out that there was a need here in my own hometown, I actually have a son who's still here in high school, so I would much rather prefer to work here locally and give back to my own community.
Have you set any goals for yourself and or your students this year?
I just want my children to feel comfortable with me. Whatever they're dealing with, I want them to feel comfortable enough. You know, I've been a student before, so I know how it is when you have that teacher that you just thinks, oh, she's so hard or he's so hard. I want them to feel comfortable enough that whatever they're dealing with, I try to give my students every opportunity possible. I feel like if they fail, I fail. So I try to work my hardest to try to make things feasible for them, to try to teach each student on their particular level to make sure that they get it. So, because again, if they fail, I feel like I fail.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You were a teacher at Bolivar Central before, and then you left. What made you want to come back to Bolivar Central?
One of the things that made me want to come back to Central is that my youngest son, James, is a senior this year. And so I wanted to be able to spend this year with him and not miss out on a lot of the activities that he would be involved in because I was too far away.
Since you teach freshman classes, how will you prepare them for the beginning of their high school?
I try to teach them, if nothing else, how to think and how to process information and how to do their homework and make sure it gets turned in on time.
Miss Vaughn, so I know that you've taught pre-K in the past and stopped for about 7 years. What brings you back to the classroom?
I've always felt led to teach school, and even though I was gone for several years, I have a love for students, and I feel like I need to be teaching, I need to be helping, and so this was my opportunity to come back. All of my children have graduated high school, and this was a perfect opportunity to come back.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Miss Hull, what is Communities in School and what is your role here at Bolivar Central?
Well, hi, Callie. Good to meet you all. So CIS is Communities in School. So we are a program network here placed in the schools. We provide a caring individual that's here all day, every day to support our kids. We hope to deter absenteeism. We hope to deter and improve the dropout rates for school. We put services and interventions in the school for each individual child and also the school itself. We hope to bring a warm climate for the school that the students may enjoy coming to school so that they are more able to learn, to excel in their academics and so forth. So that's kind of why we are here.
Thank you.
Fall sports are in full swing with football, volleyball, and golf having already started and cross country soon to begin. Football saw the departure of Coach Slow after 5 years as head coach. Montrell Kraft was chosen as the new head coach. He offered his thoughts on his new position.
Coach Kraft, this is your first job as a head coach. How has the transition been from assistant to head coach at Bolivar?
You get all the problems. You can't walk in the door without getting some bad news on some days, but overall, good experience. It's part that comes with the job.
How did working with Coach Slow last year help you to prepare for this head coaching position?
Just his organizational skills were second to none, making sure you cover all your bases, cross all your T's and dot all your I's. But yeah, that was the most important, just the organization.
We have a tough schedule this year. What do you expect to see out of our team?
Fight. I don't care if we win one game. Fight, be disciplined. You give yourself a chance. And that's all we can ask for is a chance to win.
Thank you.
That's it.
Volleyball, golf, and cross country have all retained their coaches from last year. Each coach spoke about this season and the expectations.
What are your outlooks for this season?
Well, Mary, you know, every coach wants a winning season. We've been lucky to have some players come back this year, so we're working to work together. We're young still, so, you know, win a few here and there, and we'll be good.
Who do you believe will be your toughest opponent this year?
District-wise, you're always looking at Chester. That's always going to have a good team. Looks like McNary's looking good, so we'll be meeting up with Chester next week, so we'll see how it goes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coach Stack, who do you look to be your toughest matchup this season?
I think for the boys, I think Chester County will be our toughest matchup. They are in our district. They have 5 returning seniors, all of which are pretty good golfers. And I think they'll be the toughest matchup for the boys. For the girls teams change so often, so I would say I'm not real sure about the girls. Maybe everybody will be our toughest competition for the girls.
Who do you look to lead both your boys and girls teams this season?
For the boys, I think Dayton Rowland, just because he has been playing for 4 years. He's been a solid golfer for those 4 years, and he's gotten better with each match this year. For the girls, it's really a combination of both. Sydney is older, junior year for her, so I think maybe she'll be a little bit more of a leader, but Kendall will be just as good just because neither one have played before.
What do you look for your team to accomplish this year as a whole?
As a whole, for the boys, I would just like for them to get better every match. They've done that so far, get their confidence level up for district play, and maybe we can succeed in district play, but we got to get better each match to do so. For the girls, I look for us to get better, but I do think we got a good chance of making it to region and possibly going to state just because the competition for the girls is not extremely high, and both of the golfers are pretty good for the girls this year, being Kendall Atkins and Sydney Ayler. I think they'll have a good year.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
So most people don't know much about cross country. How would you describe it and your team?
Cross country is a long distance race. We run 3.2 miles. It's a fun race because it has obstacles. We have a lot of hills. Sometimes there's logs you jump over, but it's a long distance race. My team, we have 3 girls and 5 boys on the team. They're all young this year. I have 1 senior, but it should be a good year.
Do you have any returning runners?
I have 1 returning, Kadarius Cheers. That's the only one I've got coming back. Everybody else is new this year.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're so very welcome.
Cheer also has a new sponsor. Ms. Crystal Anderson has taken over from Ms. Plunk. Ms. Anderson spoke briefly about her new role.
What are some changes that you want to make to this year's cheer team?
I want to see our girls add more cheers, to make up their own cheers, to have more crowd involvement with their cheers. I want to see them stunt and learn to do that in their routines, things like that.
What are you looking forward to this year with these girls?
I'm excited to get to know these girls and get to spend time with them. I'm excited to help encourage them to be overall better students in just academics and just with school spirit. I'm excited about a lot of things with them.
Thank you.
This concludes our news for today. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up to date on the news and events of BCHS. And as always, go Tigers!
This is Miss Haspis, and I've been here for 5 years, and I'm leaving. So I will be seeing you guys around. Be good, and I will miss each and every one of you.